Consumer, one second. Yeah. Consumer Protection Act is a mechanism by which customer grievances can be solved. Customers can be compensated for any uh, problems that they have encountered. All this is possible only because of Consumer Protection Act 1986. Right? What this act does is it safeguards consumers. It encourages them to air their problems, come up with their, open about their problems. And if they have uh, come across any defects or flaws in whatever goods or services that they have paid, Consumer Protection Act gives them that opportunity, right? And this act also makes sure that traders or manufacturers they do not practice any illegal trade. They do not exploit customers, right? See, customers, whatever money they are spending for buying goods and services, it is their hard-earned money, and so they have to get their money's worth of whatever product or service that they have paid for. They should get it, and if they are not getting it, then there should be a body, an organization which is there to protect their rights. That is what the Consumer Protection Act does. This act covers all the goods and services, whether it could be by public sector or, for example, if I have bought a train ticket to go from Hyderabad to Bangalore, right? It, now I am a consumer, I am a customer of Indian Railways. So if I have experienced any problem, I can, even against Indian Railways also, I can go to the consumer courts. So consumers can go against government organizations, public organizations, private organizations, any of them. Nobody is exempted from this act. All right. One second. Yes. So, uh, before going in detail about what a Consumer Protection Act is, we need to understand who exactly is a consumer, right? Who is a consumer, right? So, consumer is defined as a person who purchases, hires, or avails of any goods or services for a consideration. So, I told you, for example, I bought a train ticket from Hyderabad to Bangalore. I didn't purchase any product there. I have availed their services. So, I am also a consumer. So, any person who purchases, hires, or avails of any goods or services for a consideration, which includes a payment or promise of payment also. Sometimes the consumer might not even have paid the money. He must have promised to pay at a later date. Even then, he will be called a consumer, right? This definition also covers users of goods and services, including beneficiaries of those services. See, for example, um, take for example, I bought a mobile phone and I have gifted it to my friend. While my friend is using that mobile phone, she has experienced some problem. Can she go to the consumer court, or only because I paid for it should I go to the consumer court? No. What the law says is any beneficiary of that service, even though they might not have directly paid for it, they are also anybody who's using it is a consumer. So even if that beneficiary of that service, even though they might not have paid for it directly also, they are also treated as consumers. And if they experience any problems, even they can go to the consumer court. Right? Next thing that we need to understand is what is a restrictive trade practice. Right? Restrictive trade practice. So any trade practice which forces, which see, according, first let us see what is the definition according to the law. Any trade practice which requires a consumer to buy, hire, or avail of any goods, or as the case may be, services as a condition precedent for buying, hiring, or availing of other goods or services. So what does it mean? It means that um, when sale or purchase of a product or service is made conditional on the sale or purchase of one or more other products or services, it amounts to restrictive trade practice. So what happens here? So one second. What happens here? Consumer wants to buy product X, but he is forced to buy product Y also from the seller. If the consumer refuses to buy product Y, he will not be able to sell. He will not be able to buy product X also. So what is happening here? We are restricting a consumer's choice, right? So this results in a restrictive trade practice, because what is it doing? It is uh, neutralizing healthy competition. See, for example, I see, you all must be aware, like of late, all the schools, what do? They force the parents of the children that you have to buy uniform also from from the store which we tell you. You have to buy books also here. Everything you have to buy here only. You cannot buy anything else outside. Now, this is an example of a restrictive trade practice. Why? Because is the parent having a choice? Is the school telling the parent, see, you can send your child to our school, but uniform wherever you want to buy, you can buy, books wherever you want to buy, you can buy. Is the school doing that? No, the school is not doing that. So this is an example of restrictive trade practice. There are two things that are happening here. What are those two things that are happening? One thing is we are reducing the choice of the customer. That is one thing that is happening. Second thing, we are killing healthy competition. We are killing other competitors. So if there are uniform shops which are selling uniform, they will have no business, and only that shop which has a tie-up with the school will have only that shop will have a business. So therefore, restrictive trade practice is not permitted. Now, one thing that you have to understand is, see, sometimes what some for example, the example that is given here, there is a furniture shop. So take for example, the furniture owner says the sofa is for 20,000 rupees, uh, and the dining table is for 20,000 rupees. But if you buy both of them from my shop, I will give you both of them for 30,000 only. Now, is this an example of restrictive trade practice? No, this is not an example of restrictive trade practice, because are you restricting the customer's choice? Are you telling the customer that if you don't buy dining table from me, I will also not give you sofa? No, you're not saying that. You're only saying that if you buy both the products from me, I will give you a discount. So that is acceptable. But if you are forcing the customer, if you don't buy this, you will also not get that, then it becomes a restrictive trade practice. So that is what is restrictive trade practice. Now let us look at what are the rights of the consumer. 1 second, just a second. Right. So what are the rights of the consumer? Consumer Protection Act bestows certain rights upon the consumers. So here on the slide, you can see that there are 6 rights that any consumer has. The first one is right to safety. See, whenever a consumer is buying any product or availing any service, the consumer should be guaranteed of complete safety, right? So therefore, you see consumers usually purchase certified products, ISI mark or EG mark or something like that. So what do these products tell? These products tell that, these products are safe to eat, these products are safe to use. So that tomorrow, the consumer's health or well-being does not get affected because of you. See, for example, a few days back in the newspaper, I saw that, a lady was charging her mobile phone, the charger got blasted and that lady died. Now, because of some technical deficiency in that mobile phone or the charger, a lady lost her life, a consumer lost her life. Now, that is not uh, what any mobile phone manufacturers or any electronic item manufacturer should take care of. The next one is right to choose, right? So the right to choose is consumers should have the right to choose from a wide variety of goods and in a competitive price. That means you cannot restrict consumers. You cannot force consumers to only buy this, and you cannot. Consumers should have a wide variety, should have a wide choice, and they should be able to choose from different prices, right? And the next thing is consumers should have the right right to be informed, right? What is the product? How is it made? What are the various ingredients? All those things should be informed. See, any eatables that you buy, on those eatables, all the ingredients should be mentioned. What are the ingredients? Everything should be mentioned because it is the right of the consumer to know what he is eating, he or she is eating, whether there are any preservatives in it, whether there are any chemicals in it. All those things the consumer should be knowing. And then right to consumer education. So knowledge about the product, how is it used, and all those things consumers should be informed. Even if the product is not safe, what even that should be even the consumers should be informed about that as well. See, when you're using mobile phones, and if you increase the volume beyond a certain level, it says it is not safe for you. Um, on cigarette packets, it is written that smoking of cigarettes could lead to cancer. So this is all consumer education, and it is a responsibility of the manufacturers. It is a responsibility of the service providers to educate their consumers. They cannot keep them in ignorance, right? Right to be heard. That means whenever consumers have a problem, they have every right to express their grievances. So the Consumer Protection Act, we will study about that in the next slide. There are many forums, many district councils where they can go and talk about their problems. So that is the right to be heard. And the last one is right to seek compensation. So take, for example, I bought a mobile phone. I've used it for 1 week and the mobile phone got damaged. If they say that no, there is no warranty, no guarantee, now will I lose my money? No. I have every right to seek compensation. Consumer Protection Act gives me that kind of facility, right? The next thing that we're going to discuss is Consumer Protection Council. What is this Consumer Protection Council? See, the Consumer Protection Act, it provides for establishment of these councils at center, state, and district levels, right? So there are Consumer Protection Councils at central level, state level, and district level also. Now, what do these councils do? Whatever consumer-related policies of the government are there, these councils review those policies, and they also suggest measures for any kind of improvements in order to further, consumer rights. Now, the consumer protection, central consumer, I told you there are three, one at central, state, and district level. So the Central Consumer Protection Council, the minister in charge of consumer affairs at the central level, he or she is the chairman of this council. Similarly, the State Protection Council, the chairman of the State Protection Council is minister in charge of consumer affairs at the state level. And District Consumer Protection Council, this is the chairman of this District Consumer Protection Council is the district collector of that particular district, right? Now, these councils are only advisory in nature. That means they cannot give any awards or settlement, but they're advisory in nature, and their primary objective is to protect the rights of the consumers. So, like I told you, these councils, they are only advisory in nature. They cannot give awards or settlements. But how will a consumer be compensated if a consumer has a problem? They have to approach these consumer redressal agencies. So the Consumer Protection Act provides for three-tier consumer dispute redressal agencies. They are the District Consumer Dispute Redressal Forum, the State Consumer Dispute Redressal Forum, and the National Consumer Dispute Redressal Forum. Now, when can a complaint be made? A complaint can be made under the following circumstances. What are the following circumstances? Some loss or some damage has happened to the consumer because of some unfair or restrictive trade practice, or the goods that were purchased, they were defective, or the services that were availed by the consumer. One second. The services availed by the consumer, if there is any deficiency, right? So, or extra price was charged from the consumer, or the goods or the services, they were dangerous for the life and safety of the consumers. In all these different circumstances, consumers can file a complaint. Now, so under what circumstances complaints can be filed, we have seen. Now, who can file these complaints? Any consumer can file a complaint. Any voluntary consumer association, that means see, there are consumer associations, voluntary consumer associations. So, um, like sometime back, I read in the news that these health drinks, the so-called health drinks like Complan, Horlicks, and all those things, they are not actually healthy. They don't have any nutrients or for the benefit of the children. So if there could be one voluntary consumer association which could take up this case, and that could go and file a complaint against the so-called companies, right? Then central or state governments also can file cases against some organizations if there is some company which is doing it, which is cheating people or which is charging exorbitant rates. Then even the central and the state government also can file cases, right? Then if take for example, it is not necessarily one consumer but many consumers, right? If there are many consumers who have the same interest, all of them together as a group also can file a complaint. Group of consumers also can file complaints. Like recently, some residential apartment, all the residents were having problems, so they all together went and filed a complaint, right? And in case of a death of a consumer, that consumer's legal heir or representative also can file a complaint. Okay. So now I told you that, see, in this consumer redressal agencies, I told you that there are consumer redressal agencies at three levels: district level, state level, and national level. So where can we complain? See, if the value of the claim is less than 20 lakh, then a complaint can be filed at the District Consumer Disputes Redressal Forum. If the claim means damage that you are expecting, for example, I bought a mobile phone, I bought a mobile phone for 10,000 rupees, that mobile phone got damaged. So I cannot claim 30 lakhs for that 10,000 rupees mobile phone, right? I will only claim maybe 10,000 for some damages, 1,000 more here and there, but will not be more than 15,000. So that means the value of my claim is less than 20 lakhs. Then I have to go to District Consumer Disputes Redressal Forum. If the value of the claim exceeds 20 lakhs but is less than 1 crore, then I can approach the State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission. And if the value of the claim exceeds 1 crore, then I should go to the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Forum, right? Now, coming to the District Consumer Disputes Redressal Forum, every district has one district forum, and this district forum consists of 3 members, out of which one would be the president, and this president will be a person who's qualified to be a district judge. So whatever qualifications are required to become a district judge, the same qualifications would be required to become a chairperson of the district forum. And out of these 3 members, one person shall be a woman, and that is common everywhere. Even for state commission also, national commission also, one women member is mandatory. There should be one women member at any cost. Coming to the the state commission has a president who is either serving or has served as a judge of the High Court. That person will be a president of the state commission. And see, a person has, for example, I told you, my mobile phone got damaged. I approached the district forum. Whatever judgment they gave, I'm not happy with it. I can go to the state commission against the district forum. So though my value of my claim is less than 20 lakhs, though the value of my claim is only 20,000, but still if I am not happy with the judgment given by the district forum, then I can go to the state commission, right? And every state has one state commission. Coming to the National Commission is located in Delhi, right? The president of this National Commission will be a person who served as a judge of the Supreme Court or is presently a judge of the Supreme Court, and it has a minimum of 4 members. Again, one member should be a woman. And if there is a particular consumer who's not happy with the judgment given by the state commission, then he can go and appeal at the National Commission. And if there is a consumer who's not happy with the judgment given by the National Commission also, then what can they do? They can only go to the Supreme Court. So the judgments given by this National Commission can only be challenged in the Supreme Court. So that was about Consumer Protection Act. The next thing that we are going to discuss is intellectual property rights. Now, what are intellectual property rights? Intellectual property rights are the legal privileges that are given to the inventor or the creator to protect their intellectual work. So, somebody's painting, somebody's writing, somebody's story, right? Somebody's song, all these, somebody has invented something in the field of science. These are all intellectual works. And what IPR does is IPR tries to safeguard this intellectual work for a specific period of time. Right? So whoever has invented or created these legal rights are given to that person or that person's assignee, and only they, whoever has created that, only they can fully exploit their invention or creation for a specific period of time. After that, it is no longer valid. But for a specific period of time, only the creator, only the inventor gets to make use of it and benefit from it. Right? Now, intellectual property rights are an important concept even at the global level. There is a global organization called as the World Intellectual Property Organization. What it does is it oversees the global protection of IPRs, right? So even at the international level also, this has got a lot of relevance. So as per the Act, what is IP? What is intellectual property? Is any original work of the human mind, including those in arts, sciences, technology, literature, or any other fields. Right now, and whenever intellectual property rights are granted, they are granted to meet the following objectives. What are the following objectives? So the first one is to allow people to profit financially or gain popularity from their inventions and creations. Take for example, I have written a song, but is somebody else is gaining popularity by using this song, or somebody else is earning money by using this song. That should not happen. Right? And then the other objective is to promote an environment where creativity and innovation can thrive by striking a balance between the interests of the innovators and the larger public interest. See, if something like intellectual property is not there, that means where people's original artwork or science work or literature is not protected, then people will lose the motivation to invent, to create anything new. So today I create something and tomorrow somebody else will copy it and benefit from it. Where will I get the motivation to invent something? So that is only possible when my interests are protected, where I can financially, monetarily benefit from it. And the last one is sometimes to protect traditional knowledge. Like, there are some paintings which are specific to a particular place. Madhubani painting, they say, Worli painting, they say, right? Bidri work. These are all traditional arts which are specific to particular place. Now, intellectual property also tries to protect them also by giving something called as GI, geographical indications. Right? So in intellectual property, right, there are three things that we need to understand: patents, copyrights, and trademarks. Okay, patents, copyrights, and trademarks. So what is a patent? When an invention satisfies the requirements of general novelty, newness. Novelty means newness, non-obviousness with some commercial application. Then a patent is granted to. Commercial application means it can be used commercially. When products as well as products as well as processes are also eligible for patent protection, not just product, any process also. For example, watering land, farms. If there is some new process that is designed to water those farms, that also can be patented. Right? Now, this patent holder, whoever gets the patent, he gets to decide whether anybody else also can use this invention. If they can use, how they can use this invention, that is also the patent owner gets to decide. Now, for whatever privilege that the holder of the patent gets, what he or she does is all the technical details about the invention are published in the patent document, which is available for general public. Okay. The next one is copyright. What is a copyright? Copyright is defined as the ownership right of authors and artists over their creative work for at least 50 years after the owner's death. So even after the owner's death also, for 50 years, that person's copyright would still be there on that. So computer programs, databases, advertisements, maps, technical drawings, books, music, paintings, sculptures, films, all these are also protected by copyright, right? Even performers like actors, singers, musicians, they are also safeguarded by copyright and other related rights. And the last one is trademark. Trademark is defined as a symbol, right? And this symbol will help us to separate this product or service of one company from those of another company. Like, famous company like McDonald's. Whenever you see an outlet of McDonald's, it is very distinctly seen. You see an M with yellow color. So the moment you see McDonald's from very far, you know that it is a McDonald's outlet. An Apple product, right? They have a symbol of an apple which is eaten from one edge. Can anybody else use that logo? Can anybody else use that symbol? No, nobody else. Because Apple company has a trademark over that, right? So that is about trademark. Then the last, I told you, there are three parts. One is Consumer Protection Act, one is Intellectual Property Rights, and the last one is Information Technology Act. Information Technology Act was passed in the year 2000, and it deals with, what does Information Technology Act deal with? Information Technology Act deals with cybercrime and e-commerce in India, right? In fact, India is the 12th country in the world to pass a law related to cyber laws. There are only 11 countries before India which have passed cyber laws or passed acts like this Information Technology Act. In fact, the United Nations, UNO, right? United Nations, since 1996, have been recommending that all countries must pass laws like this so that cyber crimes can be reduced, right? So, what are the objectives of this Information Technology Act? Uh, first and foremost objective of this act is it provides legal recognition to the transaction that is done through online, right? See, earlier, take for example, earlier if an electricity bill was to be paid, for example, I had to pay an electricity bill, I had to go somewhere and they would give me a receipt, a paper receipt. And tomorrow, for example, somebody wants to check the bill, I would have to show them that paper bill or paper receipt. But today, I pay electricity bill using my phone and somebody wants to check, I just show the online receipt. And even that is accepted, even that is valid, which earlier was not there. So even government organizations are accepting, they're not just accepting online payments, they're also accepting online bills and receipts. So that is what IT Act does. It has provided legal recognition to all the transactions that have been done via use of internet. Right? This act also involves the use of alternatives to a paper-based method of communication. A lot of information is to be stored. We have to move from paper-based system to a paperless system. This is not only effective or efficient, it is also environmental friendly. And that is only possible, paperless economy or paperless filing or documentation is only possible when these online transactions are approved, when they have the validity. If they do not have that validity, then it is very difficult. Right? Now, what this Information Technology Act 2000 has done is, it has also amended the Indian Penal Code Act 1860, Indian Evidence Act 1872, Bankers Act 1899, and Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. That means earlier, in all these acts, online proofs or online receipts were not taken as evidence or whatever it is, but now they are all considering even online receipts and online proofs also. right? So, and another thing that happened because of this act is digital signatures got legal recognition. See, sometimes you get some mails, and it says this mail has this mail has a digital signature on it. That means it is as good as a person signing it, right? This act has also facilitated electronic filing of documents with government agencies and other documents. It has facilitated the electronic storage of data. It is possible to store data electronically, and that data is valid because of this act. See, earlier also, before 2000 also, we have stored data in electronic form. But was it treated as a valid source of income? No. After this act is passed, it has become valid. Electronic transfer of funds between banks and other financial institutions is also facilitated, right? And now even banks, including the Reserve Bank of India, also can keep its books of accounts in electronic form, right? Now let us try to understand what are cyber crimes. Uh, See, the word cybercrime itself tells us crimes we know. Crimes are illegal activities. What are cyber crimes? Cyber crimes are all those crimes which have been carried out by using computers, by using internet, by using network. So that is cybercrime. Cybercrime is all those illegal activities that is carried out with the help of computers or the internet. Now, are there any punishments for cybercrimes? Yes, there are a lot of punishments under cybercrime. Just a second. There are some punishments under the Indian Penal Code. There are also punishments under the Information Technology Act. Let us look at a few sections. Section 292, any obscene material in the form of, book, paper, drawing, anything that is shared, the person who does that is punished under the section 292. Then recording others, right? And then sharing these records, publicizing these images or photos with others. That also is punished under the Indian Penal Code. Then stalking people. Stalking people means following people, right? Physically following somebody, stalking them is a crime, we know that. But cyber stalking also is a crime and it is punishable under Section 354. So, if there are youngsters in this class, they would know what is cyber stalking, right? So if you are following somebody on Instagram or Facebook or something like that, and you repeatedly keep sending them messages, and you not just follow them but follow their contacts also, right? So that is known as cyber stalking. That also is punishable. All right. Again, theft, stealing, either electronically or physically, either form of theft is punishable, right? And if a person receives somebody's stolen property, that is like computer, mobile phone, or data, even that person will be punished, right? Then password thefts, impersonating or collecting data for personal benefit, or collecting people's data and selling them to other organizations, that is also punishable, right? Um, then forgery, email spoofing, preparation of false documents, right? That is also punishable under Section 465, right? And then defaming others, like, I have a YouTube channel, I prepare videos and talk bad about somebody, right? That is also punishable under the Indian Penal Code, right? And if you are insulting somebody, trying to provoke somebody, or you are trying to threaten some person, that is also punishable, right? And women, take for example, if women are insulted, bad words are spoken about them, right? That also is punishable under Section 509. And coming to sections under Information Technology Act, right? There are, like, for example, if one person uses a computer system or computer network of another person or an organization without their permission, that is punishable. And tampering with documents, e-documents, computer source documents, that is a punishable offense, right? And sending offensive messages, uh, uh, cheating people by sending false messages, that is a punishable offense, right? And uh, publishing or sending obscene material, obscene photos or videos, that is also again that is punishable there under IPC also and here under Information Technology Act also. One second. Yes. So these were the uh, three topics that we had to discuss today. One was Consumer Protection Act, the other was Intellectual Property Rights, and the third one is Information Technology Act. Right. So I will stop for now. Tomorrow, one more class we have. In that class, what I will try to do is all the 5 blocks that we have discussed. I will try to give a brief overview of all of them. Okay. There are only very few students in the class today. I don't know why. Um, so tomorrow, yeah. So tomorrow again at the same time we'll start the class. Okay.